What's up, WCW champions? The reason we say WCW is because this is the weekend contest walkthrough in WCW Champions. We're the guys from Champions Chat. I'm Bobby the Brain Heenan, and with me, as always, is Tony Schiavone, Lee Brown.
What's up, Rusty?
That was a heck of an intro, wasn't it?
I like it. The WCW, huh? Weekend contest walkthrough. This is a thing now, huh?
I've never called our community the WCW Champions community, so WWE owns the rights to that, so I'm still on brand, right?
That's
still
right.
in-house. Nice. Well, we wanted to do more than just break down the blog for you. We know we've got some incredible content creators out there that are doing those blog reads on Twitch for you on Thursday nights, but what we thought we could do is revisit the blog and actually walk through it in preparation for whatever that weekend contest is. This weekend is Lurking in the Dark with our first weekend superstar of this MLC. It is Michael Jackson. Oh no, that's Shinsuke Nakamura. Who is that, Lee?
That is Shinsuke Jackson. So can I just make a comment here? Because this is now our second trickster Shinsuke in the game, and both of them strongly give off Michael Jackson vibes. I know that's kind of Shinsuke anyway, a little bit, but like zombie Shinsuke is clearly the Lurking in the Dark, right? You know, it's clearly the Michael Jackson Thriller, and then now we've got the
zombie pre-bite. It's
pre-bite. Yeah, we got the bad version of him or something. But
the Thriller. It's the Thriller version, right?
The Thriller pre-bite. So he's got a before and after effect.
That is cool. This is the guy who had warm blood flowing through his veins, and the zombie Nakamura has ice cold blood flowing through his veins.
Yeah, because he does the freeze gems, right? That by the way, zombie. For all those who are like, why do we need another trickster Nakamura? It's because the zombie one is one of the least effective characters in the game at this point.
I could have also ended that sentence with, "Why do we need another trickster?" Because
wow.
Oh, coming in hot on this Friday morning with the cold brew in my glass. So,
Rusty the Brain has got some hot takes here.
Hey, champions, get thrilled about new Shinsuke Nakamura as the King of Pop style. And notice that tiny little emoji that's at the end of that sentence.
It's the zombie.
Is the zombie emoji. Right? So I don't think we're necessarily tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists with this. It's continuity in the lore is what we're finding here. Well, his moves and his style outshine all your opponents. You can play feuds, which we will be talking extensively about in this video. Play tours, blitz to earn his shards, find rad rewards on the prize wall, and in competition milestones, including a 100% gem damage strap for the King of Pop style. So you're going to want, if you end up acquiring this superstar, you're going to want that strap.
Yes, please.
Before we get to Michael Jacksonmura, we have an exciting announcement about one of the key entourage in the game. Check this out, Lee. Champions has added a new entourage ability for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He's going to get +2 trap gems at 21k talent, from 50% damage to 75% damage at 26k, and at 31k, which is
6-star silver.
Silver. Insane. We're going to have to pump him up all the way there. You're going to get 100% more trap gem damage at 31k. And you can also find his poster on the feud prize wall. Thoughts on this fire breather dragon rework?
Well, a big surprise, but I think awesome. A lot of people got him during the Turkey Timer event at Thanksgiving. He was very, very common drop in the loot. So a lot of people, he used to be pretty rare. Now a lot of people will have him. If you don't, there's the feud prize wall. I really like the rework. Anybody who's doing trap gems, which There's a lot. And for me, I'm looking at my zombie steamboat, but I think you've got some heavy hitters that this might make a
Oh,
difference
my
on,
best two
huh?
superstars rely on trap gems.
Oh, and who is that?
Hall of Fame Brutus and Relentless Kevin Owens, both trap gem dependent. Also, it's worth noting Steamboat's current max trainer ability is only at 9K. So we've got
Right.
a long way to go to 31K,
Yeah.
especially in a category where tokens seem very, very rare. Acro tokens,
Oh,
maybe that is a tinfoil hat conspiracy, but like,
I think it depends
I
on your
don't
roster.
I probably have the least acro resource out of
Gotcha.
any of the classes. So I don't know if that's just me or not. But
Yeah, my acro resources are doing okay. I think everybody's resources. So we've got to talk at some point about these feud prep talent ups, and if you've watched the videos that I've put out on the channel for my talent ups, I've been maxing at 700 million every single one so far. But while I'm able to do that, is it smart to do that? Because now, again, you can see in the videos, I'm getting to where it's purely coin and TP that's getting me there. It's not these moves because
yeah,
I'm not accumulating enough tokens, especially
right.
5-star diamond and emerald, fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like I'm in the same place. Hey, it's important to note that as we walk through this weekend contest prep, weekend contest walkthrough, as we do this WCW,
WCW.
it's important to know that the numbers we discuss here, right, are as of the blog's release on Thursday night. And as always, all numbers and specifics are subject to change. You have to check in game and make
Mm-hmm.
sure the things that we're telling you actually correlate with the numbers you're seeing in the contest in game. Well,
That's right.
today is Friday, February 2nd. So that means today at reset, which is noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, the Lurking in the Dark contest will begin. That also means tomorrow, Saturday, February 3rd, at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, the faction feud will begin. This is a normal feud, not a flash feud. So it's going to
Right.
be for Saturday and Sunday feud.
So if
As
you
we look,
saw it on the original blog for this month, it's a 5 week contest. If I remember correctly, before subject to change, you're gonna have two regular feuds and one flash feud at the end. So it'll be a
right,
feud every other week like usual, but instead of regular flash, it's gonna be regular flash.
I like that. I like Flash Feud Me in the end because all of the keys that I've been redeeming all month have given me fuses, or
Mm,
ideally, right? I've got a lot of
right.
fuses ready, and then at the end of the month, I fuse all those up for the contest, for the faction contest and the Flash Feud.
Yep.
Well, let's look at getting the king of pop style, right? How we might acquire this poster is in the solo contest, there's going to be 380 shards. In the faction contest, another 160. The faction contest leaderboard, right? The top 200 are going to get somewhere between 150 and 400 shards. Your war score, your feud war score, will get you another 120 shards. The limited time tours are going to have 520 shards. That should put you at 1580 if you're free to play or if you have not invested anything in the weekend contest, with another 400 premium in the premium column shards available in the solo contest, and another 375 available on the portal, WWEChampions.com. When we say the portal, that's the shop you want to be buying things through so that you can maximize your purchases and get bonus deals and discounts there.
Yep.
And it looks like that will then put you at another 775. So there's no guarantees that you'll get the poster, unless the only guaranteed route would be being on the
Spend.
faction contest leaderboard, right? With
No, even then
spending.
you don't have enough, right? Because
Okay.
you'd be 20 sharp. Theoretically, if you got everything in the regular CSS, you get the premium, but you didn't spend on the shop events, you're still 20 shards short. But let me just address on the faction contest leaderboard, make sure you read that with accurate eyes, because like for example, Rusty and I were in a sub 100 faction for some time. Great faction, but we would be on that 150 side. So 1580 gets stuck in the brain, and like I'm supposed to get 1580 shards of this person. Why am I missing 300 shards? Well, unless your faction is a top faction, you're not getting the 400. You're getting closer to the 150 or somewhere in between. So just adjust those numbers. So that's why they put the asterisks on 1580, but it's still, you know, even in a top faction, I'm averaging 13, 1400, maybe a little bit more than that, shards for these weekend characters, usually without premium CSS. So
that's good input. So as we're prepping for this feud, you're going to play with selected superstars for faction contest points and leaderboards and progress in the war score competition. A 2x feud speed up perk will be available to claim for Managers Pass members. And just as a note, the faster you can feud, right, the higher your score will be. So maybe something to consider.
Yeah.
Each earn one feud booster in the limited time tour. And the feud booster is what we commonly call the steps, right? Is that right, Lee? The steel stairs. So you'll earn one set of stairs in the limited time tour, and then a second set of stairs will be in the stamp card on the portal on Saturday. More are available through purchase with a higher war score and gem damage boost than the two free ones. Thoughts on the steps or how important those are for feuding?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it, but the faster. So I'm learning, right? BDC, one of our friends from another faction, he famously sent us some information about how to feud well because he does 600 or 700 million war score in these events, and what's that?
I just said consistently. He's doing
consistent. That's right. Like that's not an anomaly. That's every feud. So I've started adopting some of his things. So what I used to do is we're gonna scroll here for a second, but I used to like. So here's the breakdown. This is already in game, so you can see what your open lines are and what they do, and we'll leave it up on screen while I talk about this, so we don't have to go through each piece of it, but. I used to fill it up as much as I possibly could with whoever, right? You know, your CSS. So like any powerhouse, I might throw in my best powerhouse, but my best powerhouse at the time might have been like a 12K, you know, Cena or something. Who knows? So I would just try and fill it up and get as big a thing as possible. Well, what you do is then you give your opponent higher war score because they're beating all your characters. But unless you can come in hot with some great superstars, then you're not beating it fast enough. So it's better, I've found, while there is that first time win of 300,000 points, it's better to use if you've got one or two, you know, anything beyond that's great. But if you've at least got one or two characters that are fast, that are powerful, that are getting the job done, go through it quick. Get your CSS for sure in there, which we'll get to, but go through it quick and move on. Like right now, since I'm applying BDC's techniques into this, I am averaging 10 minutes per feud. So instead of averaging 20 to 30 the whole time frame, then I'm getting 3 times the war score in that same half hour as I would have if I tried to just beat it with everybody. And because you're getting more points for damage, you're getting more points for beating 6-star silvers, it just adds up to where the faster you can feud. So the point is, the quicker and better you can be at just getting in like your 2 or 3 top characters and then maybe your CSS for a couple of them and get done quick, the better. I will say one last thing, and then I'll turn it back over to you, Rusty, though, is if you are in a faction that has any level of casual play, meaning you care about the people on your team who don't have those top rosters, either don't pair with people who you know that can't beat it in 10 minutes, or, and I know this is a frustrating thing for some, don't get upset at people if they take 20 or 30, right? Like, either communicate in chat and pair up wisely, or be there for your other guy and take the L if, somebody on your team is trying. Like, if they're sandbagging, you can be mad at them all day. But if they are trying to get through that feud lineup, and maybe they just don't have what they need to beat, and they get paired with like a 6-star silver that just whoops them, be there for them. Don't be rude to them. Just move on and go.
Ask to tag in for them.
Yeah,
Um,
ask to take, like, hey, I can take those for you and be done. Yeah, agreed.
And just a note of clarity, based on what Lee said, if you look at the feud requirements, we'll put those up on screen for you right now. These are your lines, right? What you hear called line bonuses. That
Yeah,
bottom line is Mysterio, Family, Powerhouse, Legends, Open. Those are always the easiest requirements to meet.
yeah,
And there's 4 superstars on that line,
yeah,
right? Then there's another, usually 3 superstars on the middle line, and then there's 2 superstars on the top line,
right,
right? So it's 4-4-2 or 4-3-2. So that's 9 or 10 total slots that you have for your feud. And based on what Lee said, based off of feedback from the top feuders in the community, you ought to be going into a feud with like 4 of your top feuders, not 10, 9, 8, right? You don't want, I'm trying to give you some numerical
right.
value to the input that Lee gave you. Like
Yeah,
go and you don't, if you can meet the line bonus, wonderful.
yeah,
If you can't, sorry, still put your best 4 in,
right.
divided amongst the 3 lines,
Yeah,
right? And you would benefit from it versus thinking you need to fulfill the line requirement. The line requirement is there as a bonus to help you, not to
right,
hold you back. If the
right.
line requirement's holding you back, you're feuding wrong and you're
Yeah,
only hurting yourself and your score. But it is cool to get the war score boost. Look at the on screen right now. If you can
yeah,
fill that top line, that means you have the super, super rare weekend superstar, and you can get 50% more war score. If you have solo, also fairly rare, you get a
very
20%
rare.
war score boost. And now at the bottom, the requirements are fairly simple. Everyone in the game should have had access to these superstars,
Yeah,
and only a 10% war score boost. Go ahead, Lee.
right. But no, to your point, I 100% agree. But just to clarify from my thing, that doesn't mean, like, saying you take in 4 of your top or 3 of your top. That doesn't mean you don't fill the line. And again, I know this is anti-competitive. It's actually collaborative spirit, but I will often use those open spots once I've put in my top guys to put in a couple filler, just to, if I can fill a line bonus. I just won't use them to fight, right? I give them as tribute to my opponent, so that if they're trying to get their CSS done, then they've got 1 or 2 characters that are just pure fodder. And the last Flash feuds, I ended up getting paired up with DJ and T Unit, and one of the things DJ texted me, or in our Discord chat, was like, "Hey, thank you for the fodder. Like, that was nice, And so that's just being good to the community, but
Right.
don't think you have to use every character you take into battle. Like, if you put in a fodder character,
Right.
just don't use them. Even though you could get that 300,000 point bonus, take your top guy. Because here's what I realized: like, my Hall of Fame Triple H, my William Regal, my Neidhart, any of these guys that I've been using these last few feuds, because they do so much damage, they're getting more than 300,000 points, even though they don't get that bonus beyond the first time. So
Okay.
it's
All
kind of a
right.
trap. It's kind of there to get you going, but think of it as a bonus, not as what you have to do.
The fodder, if you can take down their fodder with your fodder and get the 300,000 points, it's really nice.
That's
But
nice. Yes.
yeah,
But that's
so,
assuming people put fodder in their thing. I
right.
know the top factions, and this isn't bad of them. They're not going to do it because they're chasing the leaderboards. But for the rest of us, who are maybe not as concerned about that, and maybe our faction leader will say differently, but we seem to be like, we're hitting pretty high milestones without being
Right.
like, and yeah, it's not anti-competitive. It's just, you got to do what you got to do to be on top of the leaderboards if you're in that position. But I think for most, throw a fodder in there and then just don't use them.
So we covered feud pretty extensively. I think we might hit it again, but there's also a solo contest happening during this feud, and you can
Okay.
play the faction feud will be helping your solo contest and the limited time tours to progress and earn retro rewind rewards as if it wasn't a tongue twister enough. Lurking in the dark bags, prize wall medallions, and a ton of resources. See, this in this contest, instead of the Christmas ornaments like we saw in Winter Wonder, we have VHS
I
tapes.
love
So
those.
you can get your Shinsuke Nakamura VHS tape is I think in this contest, and it says that it's 6,819,999 for the time capsule collection contest progress. So your top 50 leaderboard ranks can get a guaranteed poster of the brand new Shinsuke Nakamura, King of Pop
Nice.
Style, up to 6-star bronze. So top 50 in the solo contest, they're going to be doing really good, and they're going to be earning this superstar 100%. But you can earn in the solo contest almost 2 million of those points from your feud war score are going to come from there, right? Earn 1,900,000 points in the contest superstar competition during feud, right? And you're also going to be able to claim free points from the stamp cards, which you ought to be logging into the portal daily. I do it at reset, WWEChampions.com. Go on the portal, grab the stamp points. And then for those of you that like to buy pulls and chase new superstars in the game, when you spend your first loot coin, you'll get 700,000 contest
No,
points,
no,
and that's
70.
limited one. Oh, 70.
70,000.
Whoops.
Subject to change. 700,000 would be awesome, but that would
Error
be,
of the reporter as well. And
yeah.
then you can spend one for every additional loot coin you spend. It's got to be the dark loot contest, lurking in the dark loot. You'll get 10,000. That's unlimited. And if you early bird recruit the King of Pop Style within, I think, the first 24 hours, you'll get
Yeah.
500,000 contest points right there,
Right.
with the max milestone being 10 million. Lee, Pulse, any comments? Any
No, I
additives?
mean, if he's good, Legend. I'm trying to think of Legends era tricksters that are in the game, and I mean, other than your
Hammer,
ones that you're using for trainers,
Valentine
I
is
don't
about
have.
it.
Oh wait, no, I have Valentine now. I do have
Yeah,
Valentine.
Legends era trickster.
Arn's,
Armor.
but he's not in the company, so he's super rare.
You got to be an
And then
old
you've
timer
got
like
Jerry
you now.
Lawler, right?
Ugh,
Is
any
that it?
Lawler is a bad Lawler. It feels
Yeah,
like.
I think that's. I
Yeah.
mean, somebody's gonna say, "Oh, Andre, of course, Eighth Wonder Andre," but none of them are relevant. None of them are in the meta now. So this will be. I mean, I think that's what this contest is all about: is bringing the Legends era to where all those gaps and holes are filled, and so Shinsuke Jackson does fill a big gap right there. So.
I was like, who's Shinsuke Jackson? Oh, okay. Um, and I think you're right, Lee.
Michael Nakamura.
I think this month is doing to Legends what the Nation of Domination month did for the Attitude Era. I think
Yeah.
we're seeing there's an intentional emphasis on upgrading the era overall to make it more game relevant. You know,
Yeah.
some of the highlights from this contest is going to be. I mean, look, you can actually pull if you have just a horseshoe hidden somewhere in the lurking in the dark. You might actually pull him from a 4-star bronze out of a bag. If not, you're going to get his shards or a lurking in the dark premium medallion. I'm not sure what that'll be redeemable for, but it looks similar to like a player's choice loot medallion where you get to go into the prize wall and pick something.
We'll see.
Also, your Rhea shards, which we are chasing Rhea all
Everybody
month.
needs Rhea.
Yeah. Jumping down to the actual war score and what we need to be thinking about for this feud. Let's see. Okay, so when in the feud battles, the faction contest points, shard bags, feud milestones, very important. Like for me, Jim Neidhart Hall of Fame shards
I was going to
until
say, do you see that, Rusty? Do you see
I know
that?
until milestone 50 million, right? So 50 million should be your target if you're feuding competitively this weekend.
Oh,
If
it'll
you
be if you're feuding
right,
competitively, your war score. I
well,
mean, you're in the hundreds of
yes,
millions competitively. But yeah, to max the event, it
yeah.
looks like
Let me
50
rephrase.
million. So,
If you're taking this event serious, your
there you go.
first target is the 50 million war score. Your initial, like your mile marker. If you're on a journey, that's
Yeah.
what you're shooting for,
20
right?
million for your
And
faction, 50 million for
yeah,
yourself. Yeah, agreed.
so 20 million if you care about your faction, 50 million if you care about yourself, and then if you really care about yourself, into the hundreds of millions.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Because the
if
top
you care about
50
your faction.
get up to a 6 star. So you're, I mean, that's still a small pool, right?
Right,
But
very
still,
small.
50 people are gonna guaranteed get Shinsuke, even without
That's right.
necessarily having to pull or anything.
If there's a guarantee in this game, it's good because it feels like so many times this is a game of luck and chance combined with skill. So the
Yeah.
guarantees tilt things towards the skill arm, which is always really good if you're a competitive player. Um, I like that. If you don't care about your faction, you won't even hit 20 million. And they might kick you out. Like you may care about the faction and they don't care about you if you don't hit 20 million. So,
Right.
uh,
Hee hee.
come on, girl. Let's see.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Dean is not my lover. All right.
Jimmy Dean, the sausage. What
Yeah.
did you say?
Misheard
Um,
lyrics. What?
you can earn massive lurking in the dark solo contest points in the top 800 leaderboard. So if you wonder what does the top 800 look like, let me just say this: there's roughly, from my observation alone, there's roughly about 5,000 members of the community that consistently max the MLC. So you'd be in the top basically 20% of the champions community would be the top 800 leaderboard, at least the top 800 competitive champions community. Does that sound right to you, Lee? That's
I don't
about
know. I
five.
was just doing the math because I mean, on average, there's about 10 to 20,000 players per day that are logged in, just
Right.
based on different leaderboards we've seen. We don't have behind the scenes information or anything like that. Those numbers
Yeah,
aren't
this
shared
is
with
all
us.
speculation, what
Yeah,
we see in the game.
right. So let's use the low number. Let's say there's only 10,000 in a day. I don't know what 10,000 out of 800 is, but
Oh, it's
you
about
know,
10, it's about 10%, a little under 10%. Yeah.
yeah,
So like,
yeah. So yeah,
uh,
you're probably right.
remember, the top 50, though, in the solo contest can earn actual 6 star, or up to, I'm sorry, can earn up to a 6 star bronze Shinsuke, right? So keep feuding. If you want to climb that ladder, you got to participate. 100 million is your max war score milestone. Earlier, I said 50 was the target, but that's your first target. That's your
Yeah.
first mile marker. Reward highlights. What do you get? What are we going to get for doing all this feud and ignoring our friends and family for the weekend? We are going to
Just
get.
Saturday. It's just Saturday, right?
Well,
Well, Sunday morning too, but not for
yeah,
you guys. So
we're
for others, yeah,
we're gonna get prize wall medallions, lurking in the dark feud medallions. We're gonna get premium bags. Those bags, like we said earlier, can contain shards, can contain um, the poster on I'm sure, a very rare scenario, and even the what looked like the player's choice tokens. It looks like also there's going to be a special blitz, lurking in the dark blitz ticket are going to be available in our feud rewards. And most importantly, if you're like me, 380 shards away from Hall of Fame Jim Neidhart, you're going to want those Neidhart shards.
yeah.
Um, and also, let's take a look at. So we've seen the currency. What about the redemption, Lee? And Lee, you talk us through how important maybe some of these items on the prize wall are. You got Bailey role model
Yeah.
strap, two
So
times
that's Tech
affiliation.
Bailey. She is, I want to say, Botch or Immobile Gyms.
Beach, right? Is it
Leech,
Leech?
that's right. She's
Yeah,
Leech. Yeah, so
Leech
she is
12K.
12K Leech Gym, which that has
Yeah.
made a comeback, especially with last month's characters.
Ludwig,
Power
crazy Ludwig.
for Ludwig and for Tori, Hall of Fame Tori.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's her best
Next
moveset.
is you can get Nakamura strap.
Yep.
You can get usually it's like you can buy one tier five Fury metal, Fury two
Yeah.
metal. This
So
says go ahead.
quick note on those. Last event that had these in there, I was able to get one, and I desperately need the gem defense Fury 2. I wasn't paying attention. I grabbed the move defense. I think that's right. It could be reversed. But either way, I have a
Those are the
lot of
spot.
one and not a lot of the other, and I grabbed another of the wrong ones. So I was like, well, crap, because now, you need them in sets of four, right? And
There's
so
four
I only
spots
have two
per
sets of
strap.
four on my roster, but I've got lots of one of these, and I grabbed that instead. I was so mad.
So you want to look at your ultimate strap or your legendary strap, and you want to see which specific slot needs to be filled, right? But how important? I just ask. Let me ask you this: how important is it to have Fury twos on a strap compared to the basic Fury ones?
I mean, it's just the power creep of the game, basically. Your Fury ones are 20%, your Fury twos are 40%. So, I mean, it's a numbers game, right? You're trying to get the highest percentage and the highest flat damage you possibly can. And so, for a lot of characters, you want like we talked about using your top characters in feud, you want your top characters rocking either Takedown 2 if they're move based or Fury 2 if they're gem damage based. The other, I mean, they've got to do something to fix them because the defensive and the health ones are just not really usable much. I mean, there's a few modes that you would, especially maybe building up your health, but really Fury 2 are because they're a lot more rare than Takedown 2. They are the medals to get.
Well, it's and Lee hasn't said this number yet. So if you have all four slots in an ultimate strap or a
It's
strap,
80%.
and they contain it's 80% more
Yeah.
damage. And if that strap is 100% gem damage strap, like you got the basically free if you worked for it during the Kaiser Ludwig contest, you got 100% tech gem damage. So now you're at 180% on a tech for the full set of Fury 2s, which
Yeah.
is that's pretty
It's nice.
OP, right? If
It's
you
pretty nice.
consider a guy like Vinci or Ludwig, whatever the newest techs are in the game, they're dealing the most damage. You can also get Lurking in the Dark loot coin bundles. So it looks like you can actually get pulls. Is that right? You can get
Yeah,
your
they've been doing that. So typically, like in the past, it's been where you could reasonably, in a higher level faction, get four of the prize wall medallions, and the loot coin bundle usually takes five. So top factions can get there.
okay,
Everybody else, they strategically do it to where then they sell the final medallion
okay,
in a
okay,
$20 US pack. So functionally, then you get two $20 pulls for the cost of
right,
one $20 pull. So it's kind of a bonus buy that way. But
okay.
most people I have not seen able to get that.
Earlier in this video, we talked about how important Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is as an entourage. And it looks like he's going to be, for those that don't have him, available on this prize wall as well at 5-star gold, which means you token wise, you're right there knocking on the door of him being 26K and then
Right.
bumping up to the next level, as
Yeah.
well as the ever coveted 6-star silver token bundles. I really like these. Lee, would you talk about how they've been doing like class specific token bundles?
Yeah, those are nice because typically you're able to get not just the 6-star token, and we don't know for sure till it goes in the game, but usually lower tokens for that class as well. So if, like me, you really, really need Trickster, if I get Shinsuke,
What do you need
you know,
trickster? I mean, it's not like they've given you 100 tricksters in the last month or
oh
what.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, McDuck
Well,
says to tell you that you were wrong, and of the ones that were given out in those bags, if you know bags, that Trick Liv is, in his words, the best female in the game. So
who's
yes,
that?
there are very
Mary?
good ones. What's
Is that
that?
Mary? Who said that?
McDuck.
Oh, McDuck. Nice.
McDuck said, yeah, yeah. He said APA Bradshaw's amazing, Cora's amazing, and Trick Liv is the best female in the game. Now that's not coming from me. She's still
Wow.
level 1 on my roster,
I
but
love that. No, that's great intel because now I've got two. If everything McDuck is saying is correct and everything Merrick's is saying is correct, that means I will now have two premium females in the game
yeah,
with the new heavy metal Rhea Ripley, which uh,
once you get her,
yeah, right.
we're assuming you're going to. I
Yeah.
mean, you've maxed the last however many.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I think I've maxed 6 in a row now, and I can only say that my credit card will guarantee that I will max this one as well because I really want that Rhea. My wife does not. Yeah, exactly. Come on, girl. uh,
Wow!
Superstar competition. I think this is redundant, so we can skip it here.
Yeah, the
Uh,
only thing you need to know is just that the points that you're getting are for Solo, for John Cena. Well, that. Wow, I was trying to mute
oh,
that. Sorry.
what?
Whoa.
No,
um, for John
whoa.
Cena, you can't see me. For Umaga the Bulldozer, for Immortal Hulk Hogan, which I do not have, Rusty. Uh, but then you get to any Judgment Day, any Legends, any Trickster, any Powerhouse, any Mysterio, and any Shinsuke. So those ones, you kind of know the drill by now. When we talk about filling your CSS on your feud roster, this is what I'm talking about, right? So if you have a low level Judgment Day that can't do a whole lot, you still need to use them to get
Yeah.
3 wins.
Not only
There you go.
that, the first time you use that contest superstar of the feud, you're going to get 600k points because you're going to get the 300k from the unique win plus the 300k from the CSS win. Is that correct?
No. Well, yes. I mean, you do get
Yeah.
600 total points, but it's 300 to this event, 300 to this event. Because 300 goes to War Score, then this 300 specifically goes towards the CSS, which is a separate event.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
yes
you're
and
on
no.
this call with me to help work through my delusional interpretation of the blog and what it's instructing me to do. So I thank you for that. So we don't quite know I can't, what is the rare, it says rare tokens, right? Some reward highlights. We're going to have the gym damage
Sorry, I was going to
strap.
say, you got to tell me where you are so I can scroll there real quick. But yeah, I
I
got
was
it.
just right below it. There's this icon, but I think that's just this lurking in the dark solo contest icon. That's not
Yeah.
the medallion that's in the
No,
bag
no, you can
that
tell
you
by
were
the
trying.
shape.
We still don't know what that medallion does yet.
Right.
Section contest points ends 12 hours after the feud. The reason that ends 12 hours after the feud is so that it gives you a little cushion if you need to compensate financially for the lack of production that you were able to produce in the game, which I've done numerous times, been really close to hitting a milestone, and then buying some loot coins to help get me
Drop
up.
like 5
Yeah,
or $10 on loot coins and yeah.
right. Or 20, 40, 99. Also,
Remember when you were free to play, Rusty?
also amounts that I had spent on this game. Uh, find 110,000 points in the War Score competition milestone and more in feud leaderboards, which we've covered pretty extensively. Let me open this up. Oh, just for using health packs this weekend, you're going to get 100. You're going to get 1 point. So like
Yeah.
one. I mean, it kind of helps if you're recharging after each feud. Say you're dumping 500 health packs into a 6-star superstar to heal them. That's
Yeah.
500 points, right? You don't want to necessarily kamikaze your superstars, but you also want to make sure you're utilizing that. Um, you can also spend cash. Now, help me
That's new.
understand the difference here, Lee. Is this in-game currency cash or is this IRL cash? Is it
Well, technically it could be both, but no, this is in-game cash, the little stacks of dollar bills, y'all, that are in there. But this is basically, think of it like the tiebreaker. So for,
okay?
let's imagine that two factions were like neck and neck and neck and neck, then one of the factions could unleash the in-game cash and bump above the other, theoretically.
Does that mean you could go to your faction shop and buy IOW tokens with in-game cash to get that number up? Is that, am I interpreting that correctly?
Can you buy
Like what?
IOW tokens with in-game cash? If so, I need to hop on the. Oh gosh, I know it.
Oh,
Tapjoy. I need to
okay.
hop on
No,
Tapjoy like crazy.
um, I meant refreshing the shop. Like you buy
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
tokens,
yeah, yeah.
you
Anywhere you
buy
can spend
like
cash, so you can
okay,
add like more
all
straps,
right,
more medals to your, like your available like shelf space, so to speak. You can refresh shops.
right.
Sometimes there's loot. I miss when they did loot polls for cash.
Yeah,
Like,
what I was trying to say is you refresh your shop with the in-game
yeah,
cash. So you
yep,
buy your tokens, hit refresh, buy your tokens, hit refresh.
yeah,
That's one way of doing it. That actually you get something valuable out of that transaction.
right.
Reward highlights. More as we've covered this stuff. Let's look at the
Stuff.
tours. I mean, it's just like redundant, right? Well, it looks
Yeah,
like
I mean, we're getting close to 45, so let's kind of speed read. You can kind
yeah,
of see them as you go. But yeah, these are redundant. I mean, the main thing you need to know is that your CSS for the tours are, as shown on screen, Kofi Kingston, Omos, Bulldog 92, Hawk, Hollywood, Rosie, and then all of them in the next. And then Friday, you've got your Judgment Days or solo. Then you got Shinsuke, and then you've always got the one that's for the free character. So those are just kind of the tours to expect.
could Hawk be receiving a surprise makeover today at Reset?
Well, I don't know about today. Again,
I,
it's 1 to 2 a week based on schedule and calendaring, but I
why would they
think
want
Hawk
us to
is the
use
horns
the old
plate.
Hawk? Why would they want us to use the unrevised Hawk? It could be
So
today.
he has been revised actually. He was the first one I remember that they went back and revised like 2 years ago, where they just said, "Hey, this character is not great anymore," so we revised him. So he's already received
Okay,
one bump. Let's see if he gets a second.
let's jump down. We're gonna just skip. Okay, here is what the premium content in the premium medallions in the King of Pop Style Challenge Tour and redeem them for extra rewards. So we still don't know. No, we do see
No, we
them.
do. Keep going down.
So it could be a moment. It could be a
Mm-hmm.
plate. It could be, oh, there's a whole list. So
Yeah.
Judgment Day forms a moment, a token, Mark of a Hero skill plate, Chain of Colossus skill plate,
Not good
Bulldog
anymore.
Bracers, which would work so good on this Kevin Owens freebie showboat, the
Yep.
Hulkamaniac skill plate, contest champion strap for Shinsuke, more opportunities to get Fury 2s, 6-star silver chest, and strap parts. Any input on that moment or plates?
No, I don't. I don't have the moment. And the plates, sure, yeah, the plates. I mean, I've had the Chain of Colossus when it was broken. It was amazing on Mutant Seth, but they fixed it, so it's kind of. I personally don't see its utility anymore. Mark of a Hero right now is primarily still just for Rosie. There's not a lot of other characters that really do what that plate does. The
Right.
Bulldogs Bracer works phenomenal on. I'm trying to remember. I think Hall of Fame Triple H would do great with it. Also, Zombie. I used to have it on Zombie Lashley forever before I moved it to Hall of Fame Triple H, and then of course KO, and then the Hulkamaniac skill plate. You would definitely benefit from because you have Hulk Hogan. But anybody who breaks a massive amount of gems, so that is one that I've thought about for Powerhouse Braun. If I ever get it, I'd like to try it out on him, but I don't have it. So.
Yeah, Hulkamaniac would be really good on Butch as well. I was
Oh
looking at
yeah,
That
Yeah,
would
that
be a
would be.
fun one. Hey, on Sunday we're going to see a Blitz come up, and the Blitz is, you guys know what's going on with Blitz, so we don't want to waste your time. But it looks like the CSS for the Blitz is Hall of Fame Neidhart, Foley Hall of Fame, or Bronson Reed, big Bronson Reed. I thought he had a different name.
No, it was
Uh,
big because I thought. Oh wait, no, yeah, you're right. It was massive.
Massive.
Massive is what he was supposed to be in the game. I wonder if they changed it to big because on TV he's big Bronson
Right.
Reed, but in game he's massive. So I wonder if they. We'll have to look see if they change. I didn't get Bronson. He
Well,
is amazing.
here's the last thing I want to emphasize on this weekend contest walkthrough is this. This is the
WCW.
most neglected thing in all of Champions is that you can get a chance to win this weekend contest superstar for free if you go
Free.
onto the forum and give your constructive feedback on this contest. So at the end of the contest, make a mental note or set a reminder on your phone that you need to go and leave some feedback, constructive feedback on the forum. I think so few people do this that this is the easiest path to get Nakamura. I think it's not a guarantee, but
Right.
I
For
think
somebody it will be.
with the amount of work that's required, minimal. With the
Right.
amount of competition that you're going to face in it, with the amount of people that actually go and fill, it's like when you get that survey at Taco Bell in the back of your seat. Hey, did you know you can win?
You can
No
win
one
an
does that
iPad.
survey. No one does
Right.
that survey. Somebody out there's got to be winning that Taco Bell dollars, right?
That's
I
right.
think, I think the Nakamura could be yours if you actually are the guy or girl to consistently fill out these contests. It almost feels like a shoe in that you're going to win. The
I
odds
agree.
are in your favor. So, any thoughts on that, Lee? Any thoughts? Am I just blowing smoke? What do you think about that, Lee?
No, I think it's good. I mean, again, just recent long term history, I guess. When we were on the Black Pearl faction, there was, I think, 6 different people from the Black Pearl that got. One of them I remember was Striker Cody when he came out. One of them, I mean, like some top tier superstars.
Right.
Captain Jack won one. He's the faction leader there. So I mean, it happens. Like I've seen it happen. It didn't happen to me, and you and I are ineligible now. We can't win
Right.
these, but whatever.
Well, and here's the thing: is like our that faction like basically consistently filled out the forum. Like
Yeah.
it was part of our faction strategy.
Yep.
Like most of us in the faction were doing it.
Yep.
So the odds of 100 of us all doing it, and then to see consistently, we won probably 6 contests at least. What Lee just thought of.
Yeah.
So that could be your faction that starts to
Yeah.
do this. That could be
That's good.
Battletoads, right? That is all the Battletoads could be the
Called them
one.
out like every video recently. You got them on
I
the mind.
listen. The Battletoads, that was the old NES video game, Lee. Do you not
Oh
remember
yeah.
Battletoads?
Oh
So
yeah.
like
Rash,
I
Pimple,
think
and Zit. I loved him.
I think it's easy there. I don't know anyone in Battletoads, but I will never forget that there's a faction called Battletoads because I used to play that video game. So plus I'd rather see Battletoads win it than like the 800 people in Venomous Vipers, right? So
Wow. 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 For the 3 of
just
you who have stuck
kidding.
around to the end here, thank you for now angrily commenting on Rusty's posts.
It was just a joke. It's just a tease. I was like, what's another faction that I can name to try to pit
Right.
them against one another? Is it going to be the Battletoads or the Venomous Vipers that win this Shinsuke Nakamura? Tune in to our next weekend contest walkthrough to find out. We'll see you next time.
Bye.